YouTube has a lot of how to get better at shooting, but not that many folks are actively talking about going through that process. So from one okay shooter who's clawing his way up the ladder to you, let's talk about it. On the 2A side of YouTube, training content can be really easily dominated by gear content. But that being said, there are a lot of good shooters on YouTube who are putting out great content on how to get to their level. As a learning resource, that is excellent and has benefited me and a lot of other shooters, but YouTube can be more than just educational content. I know that I would have trained harder and gotten better faster if motivational content was something that I had found earlier on. You know, someone else like you who isn't a grandmaster, who's down there in the trenches day in, day out, and they're motivated and excited about getting at it and getting up to that level, but they're not there yet. They're just still putting in the effort. And that's what I'm going to start doing. Is I think there's a lot of value in that. It's one thing to have people up on a pedestal who are fantastic that you can learn from, but it's also another thing to have people on your level who you can relate to, can push you along. They can have a lot of similar experiences to you, as for people who are so far above you, might not so much sympathize with you anymore, even though they were in your shoes a long time ago. I want to be able to give people recommendations for what I did today, what I did this month, what I did last week, about what's working for me, what's not, what I'm going to keep incorporating in my training, what I might kick out. In the future, these videos might be a little more vlog-like, where I'm at the range shooting more and talking about it live. But for today, I'm going to go through some old range footage and talk about what I learned from that. I have a few different training sessions I've logged that I haven't really done a whole lot with at this point. There's some stuff here that I did on the fly, and it just ended up being stuff that I kept in my training routine, and there's stuff that I tried or was told to do, and I didn't really care for it. This will also be a good opportunity to go through some of the drills I did for AK Masters, since I have that footage saved up and I haven't shown all of it, and some folks have asked me what I was doing to train for that match. One of the things I never did that I started benefiting from a lot recently is recording my training. I'm doing it in video format, obviously, but this could really be anything from writing down your split times and your average draw time on any given day in a notebook or typing it in your phone. That kind of thing has pushed me to self-reflect what my training looks like and the rewards I'm getting out of it day to day. And it also gives me something to look back at, say, here's where I was a month ago, here's where I was 2 months ago, here's what's working for me, and here's why I'm better. In some of the more recent videos, you'll see, because I'm using the video camera to record my progress, not logging it in the book or anything, I'll tell the camera what my split time was, what my draw time was, how it felt, where a shot went, if it's not on the video, that type of thing. 131.28 split, 159 second shot. I've definitely found some recurring themes for things to work on. Some of them I knew I had to work on and I was actively doing it, and others not so much. I found stuff that I didn't realize I was weak at, but do have to go work on. Taking it back to some of that AK Masters training. A lot of what I did, I'd go out to the range in any given day, and I might have a few drills with me when I went out there in my head, but I didn't have a solid training plan for any one given day and what I was going to be doing. Obviously, there was an overarching goal for what the match was going to be like and what I would have to do there, but the day-to-day roadmap of what to do to succeed in that match was something I was struggling with a little bit more. If you look at some of my Masters footage, you'll see that I did some of the same drills time and time again, but then other days I was just doing totally different things. It just struck my fancy. I'm not saying I didn't benefit from it, but a little more focused approach would have definitely helped out, I think. You can certainly get a lot from looking at the old footage, but I also think there's a good amount to be had in some of the recaps that I made for myself after shooting. Pack up my stuff off the range and sit in front of the camera and just get my thoughts out about how the training went that day while it was still all fresh. I think being critical there helped me out a lot, to where even if my session next week wasn't entirely planned, it did still build off that recap from last week where I said, I'm good here, I think. I'm going to work on this thing instead. Or, that was bad. I need to keep doing that.
13 shots, 33-26.
One of the drills I do a lot here, and I don't really have a name for it, involves shooting in multiple positions and some sprints in between. So what happens is, basically I have some steel 70 yards or so downrange. Take the first piece of steel standing offhand. When I get hit with that, I will then brace the rifle into the support beam there, So the rifle's canted, and then I can practice, what the rifle, where the point of impact is when the rifle's turned. After I hit a piece of steel from that braced canted position there, I'll take a sprint 20 yards, maybe, probably actually closer to like 30, 40, to a couple barricades I set up near my car. Same deal, shot offhand, shot braced, move back around the car to a different prop, whether it be a barrel or a wall laying down or something, and shoot offhand, drop, shoot off the brace. So 6 hits overall. I also enjoy the figure 5 drill and a modification of it that I've made for the rifle, partially because I'm not great at it, but I've been improving, so I feel a sense of accomplishment there, but that time still need can go down a considerable amount. The pistol one, I do standard, all the regular distances, 5 positions, 9 shots minimum. The rifle variant, I use paper for instead of steel at the same or greater distance than the pistol version, so I don't have any kind of feedback. I have to just land the shots good and trust myself. The corner positions are still stationary, like with the pistol drill, but the center, instead of a center position, moving between corners and shooting on the move there. One of the things I do a lot with both pistol and rifle, but more so pistol, is doubles drills. That one preached pretty heavily by Ben Steger, and I can see why, because it works for me. Draw, and then double, 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 or, double, double, transition, double, double. A lot of live practice of being able to just draw that pistol and get on it perfectly, and rip a hammered pair or a controlled double. Great. If I go out to the range to do a pistol day, a quarter of my ammo at the very least is just drawn doubles. And the last thing I want to touch on for this video is also community related. It's finding a group of people or some kind of resource to give you work to go do. Even if it's only, a drill you try twice at the very end of your day, or something you dedicate a little more time to. Having something that you don't assign yourself gives you something outside your comfort zone to work on. Variety is the spice of life, and doing something like that can very much spice up your drill days and give you something new to work on. I'm in a local training group on Facebook, and one of the things they do is post up a drill monthly for all the different members to compete at, get their hit factor, and go against each other. So it's good to change it up and then see how you can stack up to other people. That competition also helps you push to get better. And throughout doing all this, you get runs where you hate yourself and you think you're the worst shooter in the world, and then it could be 2 or 3 runs later, the very next one, you could have that run where you're just like, that was it. That's what I have to do all the time.
I did 2 doubles and then a headshot. See, this is some back to basic stuff. If you can't follow a simple course of fire, which is 3 doubles, you kind of suck.
Those highs and lows and mastering yourself and your gun to where you can get those that's it moments, fantastic. That's what this is all about.
Hit, 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 hit.
My man, strong. Strong.
You know what? I'm doing this because I find this shit fun. Even if training just looks like it's a day where you're standing in the same spot, doing the same drill over, and then you move on to the next drill, do that one over and over and over, it's still enjoyable. Shooting, in all honesty, is just a damn good time in itself. The more I post videos like this, the more I think they're going to be vlog-like and from the range rather than me sitting in this chair. But I'm going to alternate this kind of content with other stuff. I do want this channel overall to have a big focus on training and getting better. It's pretty easy on YouTube to just get lost in gear and never challenge yourself or try to get better. Just, focus on the new fancy toys, that kind of thing. So what is this stuff that we have if we're not learning how to use it and making it and ourselves better? Thanks for watching.